Roll call.
Mayor Cunita Goodlay-Hiron.
Present.
Councilor David L. Romero.
Yes.
Councilor Barbara Casey.
Here.
Councilor Vincent Howell.
Here.
Councilor David A. Ulibarri Jr.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We do have a quorum.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilor Howell, would you just moment silence, please?
Moment of silence. Just keep in mind all of our friends and neighbors throughout this holiday season. May they have everything safe and happy, and also with all their families and friends together. It's so important to really think of others during these time periods, especially the ones that are out on the highways and also under bridges, in parks. It's very cold and they're not able to be warm. We need to help each and every one of our families and friends and neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Howell. Over the agenda. It is a pleasure to
Madam Mayor, I move approval of the agenda as presented.
have a second.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilor Howell.
Yes.
Councilor Casey.
Yes.
Councilor Ulibarri Jr.
Yes.
Councilor Romero.
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey, a second by Councilor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Approval of the minutes.
Madam Mayor, I have a supplement to the minutes to read into the minutes,
Okay, go ahead.
if I may. A closed meeting of the governing body was called on December 14th, 2017, for the purpose of discussing matters subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatened or pending litigation in which the City of Las Vegas is or may become a participant. After proper notice, the meeting was convened at 6:04 p.m., roll call was taken, and all members of the governing body were present. Only matters subject to the attorney-client privilege pertaining to threatened or pending litigation in which the City of Las Vegas is or may become a participant were discussed, and council were given specific settlement authority as authorized by a majority of the governing body. The meeting was adjourned at 6:54 p.m.
Thank you very much. Please enter that into the record. What is the pleasure of the council?
Madam Mayor, I move that the minutes as amended with a supplement be approved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Councilor Romero.
Yes.
Councilor Casey.
Yes.
Councilor Howell.
Yes.
Councilor Ulibarri Jr.
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Casey, a second by Councilor Ulibarri Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Trujillo.
Madam Mayor, is there mayor appointments or reports?
I have no appointments or reports at this point in time, other than we're still attempting to negotiate the issue of the story project.
Okay.
Councilor Howard.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. We just approved an amendment to which meeting, Ms. Karina?
That was the December 14th closed meeting.
Right, but then we need to still
Yes.
approve the minutes of November 8th, 14th, and the 30th.
I believe that in
Yeah.
the motion, Councilor Casey made the motion to include them, correct?
That's correct. So I
I
understood.
didn't hear
the
that.
motion.
Sorry.
Okay, is that on the record?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay, let's proceed.
Sorry.
Okay. Mayor's recognitions or proclamations? Are there any?
None at this time.
Okay. Next, we have public input. And first to speak is William Gonzalez. We'll be talking about water.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to approach you again. I'm here again to ask you as the governing body to consider the withdrawal of litigation pertaining particularly to the remand. I believe you all have seen the Special Master's draft report and are familiar with that. And I'm here to, on behalf of the Acequias, to say to you that we in the Acequias are still willing and able and waiting for the opportunity to discuss with the city how we can share water and again to ask you to bring an end to this senseless litigation that, in our view, has nothing more to come of it other than destruction of the acequias and the agricultural community of Las Vegas as we see it. And we base this on our previous experiences with our relationships with this community. We have seen and experienced many years of discussions over water. I find it incredible that to this day we cannot or have not been able to sit down as neighbors and get a sharing agreement in place that would bring an end to this litigation. This litigation, so that you know, started 60 years ago. I was 7 years old when it started. I'd like to see it come to an end before I move on to some other pasture. If we allow this recommendation by the special master to move forward, it'll be another 50 or 60 years before this matter is resolved, more than likely. And we'll have spent probably close to $20 or $30 million that this community could use in other areas besides what we're fighting over. There's also the application for storage at Story Lake that is pending. It's a very large acquisition of permanent storage at Story Lake. My historical knowledge of use of water at Story Lake by this community tells me that we have used less than 500 acre feet in 20 years that we had leases here with the storage project. So I find it very difficult to understand why we're seeking 2,400 acre feet when we haven't used 500 acre feet in the 20 years or so that we had permanent storage. And it has cost this community tremendous money. Even the water that we bought in July, the 1,200 acre feet, we're paying $5,000 or more a month right now to keep that water in storage at Story Lake. And if I drive around town, I look at our streets. Some streets, I don't even know what street I'm on because there's no street signs. But more importantly is that the streets, and there's no sidewalks, the streets are in very much need of repair in this community. And I would encourage you to consider a better use of our tax money instead of giving it to attorneys and litigating against the very members of this community, that you invest that money in fixing this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have Ray Gallegos. Also, we talked about water.
Thank you for allowing us to address you today. I echo Mr. Gonzalez's sentiments. He's basically a living encyclopedia about this, but I'd try to give you a little bit of a holistic impression as to why we should drop this priority. That I do not understand why the 1835 priority is so necessary except for leading to the extinction of the acequias. And if we were to fix Bradner at a fraction of the cost that we're sending to Story Project, a conservative estimates that we would have storage for 100 days. And that would be almost 4 months. So there's no reasonable expectation that we would need to lease or borrow money. I have trouble understanding the obsession that council and our city government has with sending water and money to private individuals at Story Project. Story Project is not a nonprofit. And as Mr. Gonzalez reiterated, what we could do with that $12 million, it would certainly better serve the community. I feel it's a misappropriation of funds. And in all my experience, you know that I've been engaged in this for many years, I'm convinced that this is not about water. It's about money. It's about money. It's not about water. Because it defies logic. The decisions that we're making defy logic if it's about water. We have no reasonable expectation of having a water shortage or ever getting that water back from Story Lake. And if it's not storage, it's lease, it's buying storage, it's water, and then the water evaporates. It reminds me of a duck. Try to make it like a bunny and a chicken or a pony, but it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, waddles like a duck, whatever it is. At the end, we're sending money and we're sending water to Story Project. We have another agenda, another objective, but in the end, we're sending water and we're sending money to Story Project with no reasonable expectation of return. I think it's a gross misappropriation of funds. And I think the ground-based community is starting to think that there's malfeasance involved here, even though there isn't, because the decisions we're making with our money and our perceived coalition with Story Project leads everybody to believe that there's something funny going here, that there is collusion. So I'm just giving you a holistic impression as a voter and as a citizen, and just reflecting back on this, what has happened. I've been to Santa Fe like 20, 30 times and testified in court. I've been here 3 or 4 times about this. And I think we're going to fight you from our wheelchair. We're not going to go anywhere because it is wrong. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Pamela Davies. She'll be talking about the agenda.
Good evening, Mayor and Councilors. There are a number of things in the charter contracts that need to be addressed before the end of this year. I do not see them on this agenda. I also heard as I came in today that the city manager has resigned. And I do not see anything on this agenda about dealing with that resignation and the vacancy. Accordingly, I wish to indicate that I'm very unhappy with this agenda, and I wish that it would be amended so that you can comply with your city charter by the end of this year.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Gabe Estrada, be talking about water.
Good evening, Mayor and Council and management. I was hoping for a Christmas present by saying we cleared the water issue now. And you know, I've talked to each one of you. You've been my neighbors, my friends, and I applaud you. I respect the positions you hold. And if we were to have a vote today, I believe if we vote from our heart, we would settle this issue. 68 years of legalities have brought us totally nothing but cost, a lot of cost. The citizen sitting behind me and everybody else has been paying and will continue to pay. And it's such a simple issue that to drop charges from one person to another would settle the issue. That's where we're at. You know, we got a recommendation from the special master. He's as biased as you can find any attorney in. You're representing somebody, the minute you agree and settle the issue, your paycheck stops. That's where we're at, including the special master. People, if you want to believe that, you'll be believing 68 years back in legal issues that have not brought you one paragraph of agreement. Show me something. William mentioned he was 6 years old when he started this Pueblo water right issue. I was a senior in high school, and I've been involved every inch of the way trying to get that off or trying to get a settlement, and everything has been through legal talk, and nothing has been done. You show me what has been done. People were condoning the same thing that councils before you came. I know what Mr. Gonzalez talked to you about, and Mr. Gallegos. You inherited this. I hope you don't pass this inheritance to the next council. This offer that was made for $1.7 million, it would just open a can of worms for us. It's just a bait to try to get a fictitious figure of 1835. That has nothing to do, if that ever got settled, we still have to sit down like we're here tonight and divide the water, el compartimiento del agua, which has been done for 200 and so many years. And that's what we need to do. I hope and pray that maybe the New Year resolution will bring us a settlement to this, and that we can all live as neighbors. And we do have an agreement. The agreement we have with Share, the only thing that we stand against is that fictitious figure that this city has gone twice to the district judge, to 2 district judges, and they both, after 2 weeks of court with Judge Byrd and a week with Judge Wexler that's still there, they both said you do not have an 1835 water right. Your water right is 1881, period. Court adjourned. Why are we trying to go with another fictitious special master telling you, no, we're not going for the whole 2,600. We're just taking 1,200 acre feet with an 1835. People, this is skinning the cat 3 times, and if you skinned it once, it's going to die. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir. Next is Wilbert Ryan. We talk about contract renewals.
Good evening, Mayor, councilors, city administration. My name is Wilbert Ryan. I've had the pleasure of addressing you before about personnel concerns. I'm back again about personnel concerns. It's my understanding that contracts for city manager, city clerk, city attorney, and chief of police expire the end of this year. These are 4 positions extremely important to the mayor and the council and the city. So I'm concerned that what happens with these contracts gets dealt with in a proper legal way. Again, I understand that these people were on contracts that expire. I'm wondering if they have been notified in the writing that they will be renewed or their contracts will be terminated on 12/31. I found in my personal experience that performance appraisals are extremely important to both management and employees. From a management standpoint, it shows you what an employee's performance has been, where they need to improve, where they failed, or in this case, with a contract like this, why the contract has not been renewed. From an employee standpoint, performance appraisals show the employee where they've done good, where they can be proud of their performance. It also shows them where they have not done so good and where they can strive to improve that performance. It also shows them reasons why their employment in their current position is being terminated. I've found in my personal experience, down the road, an employee appraisal can haunt an employee or reward an employee where they're seeking a future job. If, for example, one of our city employees that's leaving is going to work for another public employee, I'm sure that employer, future employer, will check with the city to see what their performance was like. Were they good? Were they bad? It's very important you have documentation.
Thank you.
It's also very important for the employee down the road in his future that he has documentation reflecting his performance. Thank you for listening to my concerns.
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Next, we have Georgina. She'll also be speaking about water.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening, Council, Mayor, and public. Georgina Ortega. I'm coming to you as a private citizen here. I am encouraging that the city adopt this amendment on the gardening, water for the gardens. I don't know if you're all aware here, the public, the audience here. There's not one grocery store on the west side. Over a mile to get from the west side to the first grocery store. Who do we have to thank? Walmart for that. They've taken everybody out. Everybody. I want, and I have seen in my neighborhoods in the west side, community gardens, small gardens. I don't know if any of you guys remember Victory Gardens, but I was too young for them, but I do remember them because my family's talked about them and had them. And I want to see, and I hope that the city encourages that the water is being used for food consumption, not rose gardens or other flower beds, but for real food for people to eat and be healthy. And then the other thing I want to definitely say is that I totally agree with William Gonzalez, with the other gentleman that spoke to about the acequias and the water that we have. We really should. 68 years, it's a long time, it's a lot of money that we don't have, and our water resources are getting thinner and thinner. And I went to a hearing about 3 weeks ago in Watros and heard a woman talk about water, the history of water in Union County. Those wells are not being regenerated anymore. They have less than 10 to 20 years. And this is documentation that they have over 20 years. That part of the state will not have water. I don't want us to look like that. So we really need to consider that deeply. I've been here 21 years now in this county, in this city, and I definitely would like to stay till I die, but I would like to have it with water. And we really need to consider how we use our water, our consumption of water. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Next, we have Bruce McAllister.
What am I going to talk about?
Issues.
Oh, issues! Madam Mayor, council, staff, you should have enjoyed this year dramatically. Okay, I haven't been here in 6 months. Okay, I've been in town now for 13 years. Okay, and we've come back and, what's the technical word? Pissed away $20 million on fighting over water. My God, everybody needs water. Part of our heritage needs water. That's the Ezekiels. Our city needs water. Okay? We could have redone both dams with the amount of money you've spent, okay, on, attorneys. And coming back and arguing with each other instead of looking for solutions. This is unconscionable. Okay? I cannot believe that you can look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm doing a good job. Because you're not. A good job is working with your neighbors and finding solutions, not bleeding them to death with attorney fees. Okay, Andy Feldman brought me into the Las Vegas Community Water Board. Okay, and I used to come back and talk about water. But all you do is come back and bleed the acequias, okay, with legal. Somebody writes a letter, okay, all the attorneys have to write other letters, and you come back, okay, and it's nothing but money. Okay, stop this madness. Begin to work with our neighbors. Okay? A lot of people say they're Christians, but I don't see very many people helping their neighbors by working for solutions, okay, that are for everyone. There's not a winner and a loser when we work together. We're not working together. Okay, I think I want to talk about issues. We have lots of them. Okay? We're behind on a whole lot of things that we said we wouldn't be. Okay? I'm not here to come back and make a laundry list. I'm saying that we are not doing a good job of managing this city. And you take any objective criteria you want, okay? Okay, and you will find where your opportunities are. Okay? I only worked in quality in 4 corporations. I won national and international awards because I told the truth. I didn't hire a bunch of attorneys to come back, okay, and come back and look at competitors, okay, or to come back and look at customers. We just sat down, talked, and made solutions. Good luck and happy holidays.
Next, we have Meredith Britt. She'll be talking about contracts.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's my understanding that the contracts for police chief, city attorney, city clerk, and possibly city manager need to be on the agenda so that they can be voted on, so that they can be renewed, so that we could continue having a functioning government. There's something known as institutional memory, and this city is sorely lacking it. There's been such a turnover of people working for the city at all levels that nobody knows how anything works, and everybody is starting anew all the time. We need some consistency among people who know what they're doing and who are doing a good enough job. And so I would like to see what's going to happen with these contracts before the end of the year when they expire. And one other thing, this is a water bottle, but this is tap water. I continually refill this. I don't understand why the city council and the city government drink bottled water. Is there something wrong with our water that you're not telling us?
Excuse me, for the record, I want to say that we understand the process of the contracts and the charter, which were raised here this evening. We will be addressing those issues. We still have till the 31st. The city has not dropped the ball, and I just don't know why there's such huge concern. There are impending issues that need to be addressed before those contracts are addressed. I cannot say any more at this point in time, but we're very familiar with the personnel rules. Thank you very much.
Next, we have Alex Aragon. We'll be talking about miscellaneous.
Miscellaneous. For all these people, I don't know if miscellaneous will cut it.
I don't think you enjoy.
Mayor, council, I come before you tonight to request that you cancel plans for the Las Vegas night at the legislature. I know that this has been something that's gone on for several years. However, I think it is of no value to the taxpayers of Las Vegas after last year's night at the legislature. After the last event was held last year, I requested the information on what was spent, where the money came from, and the attendance. The city has budgeted $20,000 for this event and has requested donations to help cover the remaining costs. The money was spent for food, hotel lodging, for council and staff, and for other costs. The event was to get the legislators to come and visit so the citizens of Las Vegas could meet them and let them know of our concerns. That's what I was told that was for. Of the 42 senators and 70 representatives, which totals up to 112 legislators, only 7 signed in. That is showing us that 105 representatives did not show up. What is the value of this if only the same individuals from Las Vegas show up to eat, drink, listen to music, and talk among themselves? This could be done better here in Las Vegas. The 20,000 could be used for roads, fixing the roads, or doing something for the city. My second concern is about the lights around Las Vegas. Maybe that money could be used for that. I have been before you on several occasions about the lights being out on Mills and other areas, and to this day, some of these lights are still out, and some of them are about to go out. What do you mean go out? When in the daylight, if you're driving by and you see the light on, it means that the electric eye is probably on its way to failing. Also, street lights on some side streets are out and they haven't been reported to PNM, or if they have, something's wrong with a contract, to come and repair them. We are charged for these street lights, and they have a contract to come and repair them as we request. The light is still out on 8th in Colorado, and it's been a long time, and I think Councilman Howe and I talked about that at one time. I heard today that the lights on the freeway were being worked on. Hey, good, great. I'd like to see that, because I know that there's some problems when you're coming into town, you can't see coming in. So that is really something that those 20,000 could be used for. Okay, whoops, I lost my train of thought. My final concern is the area of allowing us only 3 minutes to speak. I have been before you many times, and I have been ignored on this matter. I would like to state that it is unfair that we are limited to 3 minutes. Whenever an individual is speaking on something that is an importance, sometimes you let us go for 6 or whatever. But one of the things that I'm wanting to bring up now is going over the minutes and other people having to speak stopped at 3 minutes. The gentleman here tells us stop. Some people stop, other people keep on going. I am speaking in regards to the council meeting held on November the 14th, at which time the individual was given time to disrespect 3 council members in public by allowing their name calling and stating their names. You, Mayor, disrespected your colleagues by allowing this to happen, by not using the gavel to rule this individual out of order. I also don't feel the Las Vegas Daily Optic, or Las Vegas Optic, sorry, should have placed it on the front page, as all it did was give that individual some press that was uncalled for. So I ask this governing body, move forward and allow the citizens to speak for 5 minutes and have the mayor use the gavel when he or she sees that the speaker is out of order. 3 minutes might seem long to you, but let me tell you, when you're sitting here, it goes by fast. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. In response to the legislative night, the city did not spend, I believe, any money from the budget. That was, actually, I did the majority of the fundraising for that event. And to you, it might be a waste of money, but this year, our goal is education and careers. We're promoting the students. We're hoping to put out scholarships to assist the students. And so I need you to know that. With regards to the lights, Ms. Gentry has been addressing that issue, and things are getting better. That's an issue that has to be worked out with DOT. We can only move as fast as we can move them. So that's essentially where we're at. With regards to the not using the gavel, I believe that you have to practice what you preach. You have insulted me on numerous occasions in the past, and you were allowed to do that historically. You have attacked me. And as you state, everybody has a right for public speaking, and 3 minutes is not going to make a difference from the 5 minutes if you're going to say something. But for you to attack me here today again is unprofessional and uncalled for by targeting me as the mayor. But this is part of who you are. This is part of your scheme. I don't appreciate it. I think it's disrespectful. And I know that on numerous occasions, one occasion, you had to be removed from the meeting because you were in the back attacking and disrespecting. Now, if you come here, Mr. Aragon, it is also your responsibility to be respectful. And you attacking me here this evening, that is disrespectful.
Madam Mayor.
And I'm not asking you to be removed.
Madam
You have
Mayor.
the right for public input.
Right, Madam Mayor. The first thing that you stated, about the at the legislature. I haven't seen anything that came out of that Las Vegas.
Okay, well, I'll have
legislature.
Anne Marie
Second-
get together with
Okay,
you.
I wish that somebody, they gave me some paperwork. I asked for it at the time, they gave me information. Number two, on the lights, I have been before you, this council, and not so much the idea that you're talking about the state highway department and the lady dealing with her. I understand there's problems with the state. You guys have a contract with the state to fix those lights. You do, not the state. However, I know that they're going through some new things. Second of all, the P&M, you, the city, pay P&M for every light that's out there. At any given time, you should be able to call them, and they will come and fix them. I have talked to P&M. They tell me that they don't know anything about it. So the ball is being dropped somewhere. I am just being concerned about that. And the third thing, as for me attacking you, I have never attacked you. I have stated things, and I've stated whatever. The only reason that one time that was being bugged was that you individuals up here were having that budget thing, and you, the individuals, were talking about changing money, that we can't get money for this. I asked you, what about your finance committee? I have not heard any reports of a finance committee in this city in the last 2 years. Even when the prior managers were here, they never had finance committee meetings. Finance committee should meet, and all this stuff should be added beforehand, so us, the citizens, I'm a citizen, will not be coming before you. I don't like to come over here. I haven't been around here. I don't like it.
Mr.
Now,
Alonso, that's a
third
fair
thing-
question. Let me tell you, this administration has done what no administration has done in the past, and no disrespect to the past, but we have actually executed in attempting to execute every single commission committee that was supposed to have been implemented years ago and was not. We are working diligently to address that, including the finance committee, and I do apologize to you for that committee possibly not meeting, but I know that they are back on track. Give them an opportunity to work and reestablish everything that they're doing. There's so much, as well as the charter committee. We have our attorney here who has been working diligently to work on that charter committee. Things do not happen overnight. We are burning the candle at both ends to try to catch up for what was left for us to catch up on, and we are doing, I think, a good job.
One last thing, the Charter Commission, I was here at their last meeting, November meeting, I was here at it. I said that there was just a committee, no other citizens. And their question was, where were the citizens? Their question was, how come it wasn't more advertised? That was them talking about it, not me. I was sitting there listening to them. They were asking me questions, I would answer them. The thing about it is, Madam Mayor, that I do not come over here and I try and disrespect anybody. I never have. I might say things that you don't like, which I'm pretty blunt about things, but I do not disrespect anybody. I do not disrespect the positions that you people hold. I do not. And thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Continue.
That's the last one for public input.
Okay, thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, next on the agenda is the city manager's report.
Yes.
And at this time, I'd like to address the council. It's pretty tough.
And Richard?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to address the council, and I also want you to address the people, because we had concerns. And I want to state to you, Ms. Daves, that the reason it was not on the agenda is out of respect for the city manager. He did ask me not to put it on the agenda. His last day is not till, I believe, the 29th, so he is officially not leaving till then. So I think that this is an opportunity for him to address the council and to also address the people. You'll have your chance to listen. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and good evening. I think anybody that comes to these meetings and could witness people that have the right to come up and speak their mind. And I take a lot of offense when we hear there's nothing going on. I can tell you in the 21 months that I was here, a lot is happening in this town. A lot. There's a lot of milestones. We heard the complaints that nobody knows what's happening at the city. Now we have a website that'll tell you everything. You can even see the meeting from your own computer. at your home. There's transparency. That's what we did. The technology, the IT technology of what we implemented at the city to give the employees the tools is getting better and better and better. What the people need to do is ask. You don't have to come up here and guess. Just ask what has been accomplished. I take offense for the directors, and I will support our directors 100%. Those directors do their job. Those directors carry out directives. Look around the city. It's not that bad. There's some good things happening. We allow the employees to be innovative thinkers. And you can see it. We had the salute to the troops. We had the Boo Fest. We had the Christmas tree lighting ceremony where both bands, East and West Las Vegas, the cheerleaders, their drill team, came together, marched down Douglas, entered into the Safeway parking lot, and played music. That's what this town's all about. The Boo Fest at the Plaza Park, thousands of kids and parents came to that. It's a success. Why? Because of employees. Because of their hard work. Their hard work. For someone to say we're not doing anything, I'm sorry, you need to be corrected. And you hear the lights, the lights. No one knows how much we're working on that issue. Go look at your off-ramps coming into town. LED lights. Look at Plaza Park. All the lamps going up Plaza Park, LED lights. Pretty soon this whole city will have LED lights. And we're not doing anything. Come on. There's a lot of things that council have to sit here and in public input have to hear everything that's wrong with this city. And guess what? This city is your city, not just ours. 42 years I've been working. Several careers. Very proud of what I've done. I'm happy. I moved from one career to another one. I didn't have a break. I need a break. I'm retiring at the end of this month. I want to tell you that you are in good hands. We have the top-notch directors. The top-notch directors. We have people that are on board to be challenged every single day, and they meet the challenge every single day. Why? Because they take pride in their job. And then we have to deal with the naysayers and the negative. And who needs that on a city that's shrinking? Who needs that? We don't. We have issues, and we have to come together. And we have come together with the water issues. It might not happen as quick as people want it, but I'm confident that we're going to have something happen here pretty quick. I am. I'm hoping that we move forward. We got the Brandon Reservoir coming up. It's going to be a reality. We'll be able to use that water on a daily basis, something we haven't been able to do for 50 years. We're working on our infrastructure. 200 and some million. 20 million in the next 5 years is going to be worked on infrastructure. There's a lot going on. And again, I just want to thank the directors, the managers, the chief of police, the fire chief, the staff, for what you do. Because in my heart, you guys have carried this city. And you have shown your pride. And I'm very proud to be part of that for 21 months. But it's time. It's time that I move on. I don't like the infighting. People love that. People love the infighting. People love the pointing of fingers. People love to blame everybody. That's got to stop. It is killing your city. You don't believe it? Go to the schools. Look at all the empty schools that are out there. People are leaving. There's more positive things happening. Please, help out. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I gave it a try. I gave it my best. And if it wasn't good enough, well, so be it. But there's a lot that I'm proud of, a lot of accomplishments. The directors, you pull them to the side and talk to them. What have we done? Milestones in a very short time. But how can we deal with distractions? 2 recalls a matter of 2 recalls within less than a year. Now they're getting ready for another recall and possibly another recall. How do you think that affects the employees, the directors, the city manager that he has to say, hey, be calm? That is not right. A charter that was written, and there's people in here that was part of that, where you could just recall a person because you don't like them who they are, or you don't like their family, or you don't like what they wear. You could recall them. You don't need a reason. It's got to stop. And it's not the city where we're struggling. We struggled at the hospital, not providing services. We're struggling with Camp Luna. We're struggling with Highlands. We cannot afford to close those doors up on the hill. The city has to come together. We should demand that it gets cleaned up. We cannot afford to lose any more revenue. Our GRT is not meeting its projections. That's the real truth. We haven't been lying to you. You can see our budget online, the website. But we tried something different. This administration, we gave the police department a pay plan. Every single police officer got a raise. Every single police officer will get a raise every anniversary date, 3%. We're getting their fleets replaced, thanks to you. We're getting there, but it takes the money to do it. So when I sit here and I hear we haven't done anything, my God, nobody knows anything. My God, everybody has left. Yes, a lot of institutional knowledge has left. I, for one, would be leaving. But there's still directors that I have total confidence in the work that they provide. Managers, employees under them. I have total confidence that they're going to carry this city forward. Madam Mayor, thank you for your support. I'm going to miss doing this. I'm going to miss the employees because we made big strides. We did. But sometimes it's not enough. But I'll tell you, recalling is not the answer. Calling people's names, being able to come up here and call people names, that's not the answer. That's not Las Vegas. We deserve better. And we have to demand that we have better decorum in this room. We shouldn't have to just sit here and take it every single meeting. Because we can't respond. But we got to take it. Please get engaged. Look at what's happening. Come and visit the directors. Come and visit the council. Do what it takes to get your answers before we come up here and say nothing is happening. Because it is. Again, thank you very much for allowing me to be your city manager. I'm going to miss you guys, but I need to move on. 42 years of working without a break in between my careers. It's time that I take that break. So thank you very much, Madam Mayor and members of the council.
Mr. Trujillo. I would like to thank you for your service to the city of Las Vegas, your dedication, your commitment, and all the work that you have put into the community. I want to congratulate you on your retirement. You deserve it.
Thank you.
I know it's been a rough road for you. I know that there were certain things in your career that were questionable, but I always believed in you. And although we didn't agree on everything, that's part of growing. But I believe you did a good job. I want to thank you and commend you for it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
All right. Next item on the agenda is a finance report. Anne Marie Gallegos will present.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the council, Mr. City Manager. In front of you, you have the finance report for the month of November 30th, 2017. 5 months out of the 12 months have, this is the 5 out of 12 months report that we are presenting to you. 42% of the year has lapsed. We received 40% in general fund. We received 40% of our revenues, and we're down to 35% in expenditures. And so we need to really thank the departments. They have done an awesome job in monitoring their expenses. And so we continue. We'll be receiving our property tax disbursement for the month of December, and I believe that should increase our revenues a bit. And so hopefully we have a positive balance as far as being able to come in and report to you a more positive balance in the property taxes. In expenditures as well, we have listed all of our departments. We are at 35%. All of the departments are in line with what needs to be expended, and so we continue to monitor those as well. In our recreation department, 42% of the year has lapsed. They're at 35% of their revenues and 35% of their expenditures, and so we are working with that department as well to try to keep our expenditures down and try to bring in as much revenue as possible. In the enterprise funds, the same. They're at 34%, and one of the reasons is, of course, the gas. We'll start selling more gas as the weather continues to get a little colder. And but they also are at 33% of their expenditures, and so hopefully in December we will report the 50% mark, and that'll give us a good indicator of what we have for the year. And with that, I'll entertain any questions, Madam Mayor, members of the council.
Just for clarification, everyone got a listing of the new rates for water and gas and their utility bill. How will that affect our enterprise fund when that money starts? Do you have any kind of projections or anything like that?
No. However, the only thing that ever increases, Madam Mayor, Councilor, is the CPI. We do increase by the CPI, and normally we take that into consideration when we are planning our budget. And so those revenues have already been included and have been worked in within the budget.
Okay, because I think the information that came out shows like huge increases in gas for commercial property. And I've had some people call me up, but if we're going with the consumer price index, then that's kind of a different situation.
Madam Mayor, Councilor Casey, in the gas, actually the cost is really generated by the company, and so by November 1st they will come in and they will give us their rates, and so those rates are really generated by Zia Natural Gas, and every year they do change whether there's an increase or a decrease, Councilor.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam.
Any other questions? That's right.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Ms. Gallegos, since we're on enterprise funds right now, Can anyone give me an explanation of what the contract is between the State Department of Transportation and the City of Las Vegas and/or P&M and the City of Las Vegas for the lights?
Can I go ahead and address Ms. Gentry? Because I believe she's fully, or can you address this?
I believe Ms. Gentry is probably the party to have addressed.
Because I think
to have her
the
address,
public
yes.
needs to know, and we need to know.
Ms. Gentry, could you please come up? Then you can understand.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilor, I have to address you. We do have a contract with PNM. We are responsible for the structure of the top lighting, and the electrical part is PNM. So we do have a contract with that. We do, on some lights, it's State Highway Department's responsibility, and some are City of Las Vegas's. So, but if you'd like to sit down with me in the office, I can entertain that with you, and to show you what sections are cities and what sections is DOT.
Okay, so
We're, City of Las Vegas responsible for head.
right.
State Department is responsible for the guts inside of the main component, the electrical part.
Okay, do we have a specific contact person at P&M when we know that the lights are out?
Matthew Holbert is our contact person. So let me explain the situation on that. What happens is, when we do have a constituent, when there is a light out, they do call into our office. From there, we do make a contact with, we send out an email to Mark Holbert through PNM, and that's considered a work order. From there, he sends out a work order out to the PNM crew stationed here in Las Vegas. Thereafter, they make contact with us and let us know that work order has been repaired. But if a constituent does not call into our office, we don't know otherwise that their light fixture is out.
Okay. Do we have any resources to, when our employees are out and about working on roads or whatever we're working on, to actually identify lights that are out?
Yes, we do.
And also the police department that are out
Our
at
police department
nighttime?
coordinates that with us, our electrician coordinates with that. Our street crew is out there when they see a light. And when they do, what we do is go out and red tag the pole. Once we know that red tag is off that pole, that means PNM has already done their work to the pole, sir.
Okay. So 8th in Colorado.
I've never gotten anything on that.
We can report it today.
So today I can report it, tomorrow morning I will submit it to PNM, a work order to PNM.
Because I did mention that 8th in Colorado issue, but it still hasn't been
All
fixed.
it takes is for a constituent just to call our office, and then from there forward, we will submit the work order to PNM. That's been the process.
Okay. I guess that somewhere along the line it got-
Just for an example, you brought me the attention that the skillet did not have any lighting. Took care of that issue. Once you addressed it to me, we took care of that issue, and guess what? The lighting is working
Yes, I
out.
saw that.
And turnaround time for PNM is usually from a week to 2 weeks. Excuse me.
Good, okay. All right, and so DOT has no responsibility within the city limits? Or is it always only on the?
It's mostly on interstate. And just for an example, today, we do have them assisting us because we need traffic control on the interstate.
Yeah.
And that's why they are assisting us today.
One major problem that I had when I was driving in from Santa Fe, turning into the south end, and I was wanting to go up New Mexico, I was trying to look for that turn-on, and I passed the turn-on because there was no lights there. I couldn't see where the turn-off was.
So Councilor Howell, that will be addressed on Friday. So Friday, please go out in the evening, and you'll have a lighted area.
Okay.
We're actually finished off today South and University, and they're doing testing this evening, testing the lights for it. And tomorrow they will finish the north ramp of it.
Thank you.
We are currently working and trying to get the whole city of Las Vegas addressed, but that comes with money.
And Madam Mayor and members of the council, the one thing that Veronica didn't mention is how well DOT works with the city. When we need equipment or we don't have the parts or whatever, they come in and they come and help us. So there's a good working relationship between the city and DOT.
So the reason why I brought this issue up, because I've been hearing that, well, DOT says it's not their responsibility, city says, no, it's not ours, P&M says it's not ours, it's the
Councilor, just
city's.
to address that to you, we do work together. If it comes back, if they say it is in city, and if it isn't state highway, we come and join each other, and we talk about it, and we work together on it, and we take care of the issue at all hands.
Yeah. So I just want the public to know the information on contracts between DOT, the city, and P&M, so,
And the contracts have been in place since this city originated.
okay.
One more note, Counselor, where the skillet is, they were asking for more lighting. We did call P&M. They don't do that anymore. So if anything, it's going to upgrade the type of light that they put in.
Okay. Yeah, the light that's there now probably has to have a bigger luminous or...
Yeah.
LED to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any other questions? Questions, comments? Councilor Levy? No questions. Councilor Romero? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Gagos.
So next item on the business items is approval or disapproval of Resolution 17-46, Budget Adjustment Resolution. Anne Marie?
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Madam Mayor, members of the council, in front of you, you have Resolution 17-46, requesting a budget increase for a total dollar amount of $1,898,671. City clerk also passed out an amendment to that resolution. We would like to get the traffic safety grant approved as well, so that police department can continue to use their funding for the traffic safety grant. The traffic safety grant, we have the NDWI program for $8,826. The Buckle Up program was granted $3,080. And then the traffic enforcement program, 100 Days and Nights of Summer project, was granted $8,416. If we could include that in the resolution 17-46, that would speed up their process so that they can move on with their programs.
Questions, comments?
So,
Councilor Casey?
So then the budget adjustment resolution would have to be rewritten?
We can amend it actually if you need to.
Well, that's what I mean, is
Yeah.
amend it to
we can amend it to
include this.
Yeah, we can make the amendment at this level, and then you can go ahead and amend it at your level.
For submission.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
The total dollar amount, if we would include the $20,322, is $1,918,993, Madam Mayor, members of the council.
Got it. And she can bring that amendment back to the council if it's approved here, the amendment, give a copy of the council, the final amendment. What is the
Absolutely.
pleasure of the board? Any further questions? I want to make sure everybody's clear on what she's requesting and what you're amending.
Yes. I'm requesting the resolution itself, the original resolution, the funding for $1,898,671, plus I would like to increase it, the same resolution, by $20,322 to include the traffic safety grants as well.
Questions, comments?
Madam Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we add the the traffic safety grant and amend the resolution accordingly.
Second.
Roll call?
Counselor Levy Jr.? Yes. Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very
Now,
much.
may I make a motion to approve the
Yes,
amended?
go ahead.
Okay. Madam Mayor, I move that we approve the amended resolution 17-46.
Second.
Roll call?
Counselor Rivera,
Yes.
Counselor Casey,
Yes.
Counselor Howell,
Yes.
Counselor Olivetti Jr.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you
very
very much,
much.
members of the council.
If I may ask.
Yes.
Ms. Gallegos.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Trujillo, can anyone give us an update on the South Grand project? Is it going to become a reality
Yes.
this fiscal year or the next fiscal year? And if it is this fiscal year, is it in the budget?
The South Grand is going to go back out in February of 2018.
18.
And we're hoping that there might be an increase to the amount that they had previously estimated. So, yeah, it's back on schedule.
Okay.
And that would mean an increase
In
to the
GRTs.
funding and also an increase in GRT costs.
Right, that's what I wanted to make a point.
Okay, got it.
But does the residents and the businesses at the South Grand corridor know about this?
Yes,
Okay, so they know that's going to happen.
yes.
And they will have public input meetings.
They're
correct?
going to, after the first of the year, they're going to start promoting a little bit more.
Okay. And who's coordinating those public meetings?
They have their own PIO person. I think it's Yvonne
Aragon
Aragon
from the
from DOT.
And she works very well with the city, so we'll be able to get.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the council.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Number 2 in the business items, conduct a public hearing and approval or disapproval of applications requesting a transfer of ownership for Murphy Oil USA Incorporated, DBA, Murphy Express, number 8709, located at 2607 7th Street. It's located there in front of Walmart. And Cassandra will present.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. If I can ask that you go into public hearing.
Motion to go into public hearing?
So moved, Madam Mayor.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Counselor Casey,
Yes.
Counselor Romero,
Yes.
Counselor Howell,
Yes.
Counselor Olivetti Jr.
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero and Counselor Olivetti Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Ms. Fresquez?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on this issue? Please come forward and raise your hand. Because it's just me. I'll start this out. I, Cassandra Fresquez, swear to tell the truth to the council and my testimony to council truth.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, Council, before you, we have an application that was sent by Alcohol and Gaming. And we have the Murphy Oil USA Incorporated. They're doing business as Murphy Express. And they submitted this back in November. We've met the publication requirements as well as the zoning requirements. And I would ask that the application be approved. They could not be here tonight. The gentleman did call me and said he had another engagement, and he apologized for not being here, but he asked for approval, to consider approval from the council.
What is your recommendation?
My recommendation is approval, and like city manager stated, this is the Conoco, doing business as Conoco, right in front of Walmart, so it's just a transfer of ownership. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe they are going to knock that building down. And they've already gone to community development, if I'm not mistaken, and asked for that permit. So we will be rebuilding, and it's going to be about 1,200 square feet.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments? Mr. Howell?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Fresquez, Mr. Trujillo, did Conoco have a liquor license?
Yes, they have the package.
They do have it, so it's the same package?
It's the same exact, just a transfer of ownership.
Transfer to the ownership, to the new gas station? Right.
Which will be Murphy Express.
Murphy Express, okay. And there's no issues with, because Walmart can't sell liquor. So how is Conoco going to be? I mean, I don't understand that because they're not that far away from Walmart, right?
I don't believe that Walmart has ever requested that application. As far
Okay,
as
'cause I thought-
Since I've been here.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I believe all requirements have been met with regards to the school districts and the
Correct,
churches.
correct. All zoning requirements have been met in publication.
Any other questions? Counselor
Walmart,
Casey? Oh, are you done? I'm
no,
sorry.
Walmart doesn't have beer and wine,
No,
right?
do
No,
not have
no liquor
alcohol.
at all. No alcohol. But Conoco had the package
correct.
Okay.
The beer and wine.
of beer and wine.
Yes.
And are they going to have
It will remain,
spirits too?
it will remain the same.
It will remain the same. Thank you.
Okay, Counselor Casey.
Okay, I read this over and over and over again, and it was like, I still didn't quite get it clear in my head. And so, okay, so this business item says to approve the application requesting the transfer. But that's not what the letter says. The letter says to approve, well, I guess I don't understand, because both item 2, okay, I think I got it. So Murphy Oil USA is selling to, no, they're buying from Conoco.
Correct. It's just the
Okay.
ownership.
Okay, so along with the purchase of that property, they're buying the liquor license. Okay, that's what I wanted to know, because the way I read it, it was like Murphy Oil was buying Murphy Oil. It's like, okay, how is this gonna happen? Okay, I understand now, thank you.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah. I read it several times and I thought, there's something that I'm not getting here, so, thank you for the clarification.
Thank you, Counselor Casey. Counselor Romero. Counselor Romero.
No question.
Okay, thank you very much. We need a motion to accept the record proper.
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept the record proper.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Ulibarri Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Now I need a motion to reconvene into regular session.
So moved, Madam Mayor.
I need a motion, please.
I move that we go into regular session.
Thank you. Second.
Is that also to close public hearing?
And to
Yes.
close public hearing. Thank you very much. Yes.
And the second is,
Second.
Counselor Romero.
thank you. Counselor Ulibarri Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. We are now in regular session. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Mayor,
Counselor Howell.
I'd like to make a motion to, which we already conducted a public hearing, to approve the application of requesting a transfer of ownership for Murphy Oil USA Incorporated, DBA Murphy's Express, number 8709, located at 2607 7th Street, Las Vegas, New Mexico, license number 0837.
Thank you very much. Roll call.
Second.
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 I did.
Okay.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Ulibarri Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, a second by Counselor Casey. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Next on the agenda is,
Howell has a question?
I'm sorry.
Before we move on to the next item agenda, does the new Loves that's coming in, are they going to have a liquor license? I'm sorry?
They haven't mentioned anything about a liquor store.
Because when I drove by, there was a application for a liquor license posted.
Well, they might be advertising to purchase one, but they haven't come to us.
Okay, they haven't addressed the
They
city?
have to go through the process. of
Okay,
course.
all right.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Did we do the roll call on that motion?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on.
Number 3 in the business items is conduct a public hearing and approval or disapproval to adopt ordinance number 17-11 to enter into a loan agreement with the New Mexico Environment Department.
Thank you very much. I need a motion.
Maria
to close
Galveri.
public hearing.
Madam Mayor,
Counselor Howell.
I'd like to make a motion to go into public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. We're now in public hearing.
Anyone who would like to speak on this issue, please stand and repeat after me. I state your name for the record.
Maria Gilberry,
Swear to tell the truth
swear to tell the truth
during my testimony to council tonight.
during my testimony to council tonight.
Welcome, Ms. Gilberry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mayor, councilors, Mr. Manager, I'm here to talk about the ordinance 1711. The New Mexico Environment Department has been working with the city and has offered the city a loan grant project for $350,000 for the loan and $100,000 for the grant. These funds will allow us to repair and rehabilitate three of our lift stations, three of our critical lift stations, one at the San Miguel County Detention Center, one at the DBIB area, and one near DOT. All three of these lift stations are in critical need of rehabilitation. And I do appreciate the Environment Department actually contacting the city and being aware of the needs of the city in this area, and they were able to offer us this grant loan package. This will be a great benefit to the city, and I look forward to being able to move forward with this project.
Thank you very much. Questions, comments? Councilor Casey.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm kind of curious, why did we have to go into public hearing?
Counselor, excellent question. New Mexico Environment Department this is called a Clean Water SRF grant loan. They still require an ordinance be approved by council, and to have an ordinance approved by council, it must go through public hearing. All other funding agencies that we deal with right now, Water Trust Board and NMFA, when it comes to SRF, State Revolving Fund loans, require a resolution. So currently, because an ordinance is required, we must perform a public hearing.
Okay. Thank you. And my next question is, if it's a $350,000 loan, how are we going to pay that out, and what kind of, where's the money coming from, and what are the increments that we have to pay?
Thank you, Counselor. It's a $350,000 0% loan, and I believe it is over 20-year payout. So it comes out to $17,400 was the estimated payment per year, and it will be in wastewater's budget every year. And we have I've looked at our budget with the finance director. These are actually three projects prior to receiving the funding that we had on our radar to do one each over the next 3 years. This will allow us to take care of all three of them sooner than that, and they are in much need of rehabilitation. So these three projects were already planned, but luckily we'll be able to use some grant and loan funding for it.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Any other questions? Okay. I need a motion to accept the record proper.
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept the record proper.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Olivari Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Now I need a motion to reconvene into regular session and close public hearing.
Madam Mayor, I move that we close public hearing and reconvene into regular session.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero and Counselor Olivari Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. We are in regular session, so what is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Mayor,
Counselor Casey.
I move that we adopt ordinance number 17-11 to enter into a loan agreement and with the New Mexico Environment Department.
Is it adopt or approve? Approve? You said
Approve.
I believe, excuse me, it's approved.
Okay, approve. Okay.
Either way.
Okay.
Second.
We have a second.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Olivari Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ms. Gilberry.
Thank you. Number 4 on the business item is conduct a public hearing and approval or disapproval to adopt ordinance 17-12, amending the water conservation ordinance, and Maria will present.
Motion to go into public hearing. I need a motion.
Madam Mayor,
Councilor.
make a motion to go into public hearing.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Olivari Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Barrow?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, second by Counselor Merrill. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you. We are now in public hearing mode, and
Anyone who would like to speak on this issue, please come forward and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name for the record.
I, Maria Gilbert,
Bruce McAllister.
Swear to tell the truth
swear to tell the truth,
during my testimony to council tonight.
give my testimony to council tonight.
I do.
okay.
There's another person there.
Ross,
Somebody else is stood up.
Regina.
did you want to be sworn in? Let me swear you in.
You state your name for the record. Swear to tell the truth. Swear to tell the truth during my testimony to council tonight.
Okay, Ms. Goodell.
Madam Mayor, councilors, Mr. Manager, I'm requesting the adoption of ordinance 1712, which will amend our current water conservation ordinance. This amendment will add a exception to the ordinance, which will allow residents to be able to water 200 square foot food gardens. It does specify food gardens in the amendment to the ordinance. It is critical that people are able to grow food for their own use, and we have analyzed this. This is not a large impact on our water supply, so this will be something that will allow our residents to be able to grow gardens. We will be able to monitor to make sure that they are food gardens that people are watering when the conservation stages are in place.
Thank you very much. Mr. McAllister, would you please stand up? Get over.
Sure. My name is Bruce McAllister, still live at the same place, 2410 Jesse Lee Lane, and I think this is a wonderful move. Okay, instead of coming back and having our folks that come back and grow their own food in the backyard, breaking the law, we now come back and make it legal. Oh my God, what a concept. Imagine what would happen if we applied this to other issues.
Next, Mr. Taylor, please. Thank you.
Georgina Ortega, 319 Tau Street, Las Vegas, New Mexico. It is an incredible idea, and it is just, we live in a food desert, the west side. Again, I'm going to say this again and again, a food desert. People need to have that opportunity to grow and not feel like they're hiding or they got to sneak the water over there, whatever, just to grow their own food. And I think with this possibility that it's going to happen, that it will only make our community more acceptable, or more people would want to come and live here. Coming from an urban city where you don't have places where you can grow, and now you can grow in a small rural community, you still have that, the atmosphere of, you know, I'm going to feed my family with my own food. My food's not going to be traveling 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles just to get here. I can just go to my backyard, pick up my greens, my tomatoes, whatever. It's going to be awesome. People are going to have healthier lives, and it's going to be great for the community once it is going and up and at 'em. And when people look at our community, they're going to say, you know what, I like that idea. I do want to grow my own food. I want my children to be healthy, pesticide-free. And, you know, it really means a lot, because people in urban communities, they can't do that. And we still have that option. And I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to council for giving us this opportunity. Because I myself have a community garden. I've had it for over 10 years. And I grow, the community comes and grows. I have a well. I have a tank that was put together by a donation with USDA to water my garden. I've never used city water on that, but now I have that opportunity, but I don't need their water because I have my water. But I want us to start thinking about conserving it, and this is another opportunity to educate people on it. conserving water and how to use water.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, any other questions?
Madam Mayor, if I might, I wanted to add one thing. I didn't actually read the exemption. I'd like to. Personal fruit and/or vegetable garden of 200 square feet or less, watered by drip irrigation, soaker hose, or by hand. So they'll be able to use conservation methods even when they're watering their gardens.
Thank you very much. We need a motion to accept the record proper.
I have a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
On this ordinance, does it cover the San Miguel County or within the city limits?
This is the ordinance that would impact anybody who is on city water.
So extraterrestrial?
Service area.
So the surface area, thank you.
Right. So customers that are outside of our city limits that are using our water.
Correct.
Will
So
be able
if somebody
to
is
do
on
this.
a well, this does not impact them on the well. This is for people who are using city water
Okay.
in the service area.
And it's throughout the whole
Yes,
county?
exactly.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? We need a motion to accept the record proper.
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept the record proper.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Rivera Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero and Counselor Rivera Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Now I need a motion to reconvene into regular session and close public hearing.
Madam Mayor, I move that we close the public hearing and reconvene into public session.
Regular session.
Second.
Regular session.
Second. Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Rivera Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Rivera Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you, Ms. Sylvester.
Thank you.
Okay.
So next, I'm sorry.
Approval to adopt.
We need to.
Yes.
We still need to adopt the,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to make a motion to,
Oh, I adopted it.
we already closed a public hearing, but I'd like to make a motion to approve to adopt ordinance number 17-12.
I second.
Roll call.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Rivera Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Howell, a second by Counselor Rivera Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Madam Mayor, Councilors, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, number 5. Conduct a public hearing.
Please come up, ladies.
Disapproval to adopt ordinance number 17-15, amendment to the official zoning map for property. Maria Perea and Renee Garcia will present.
Good evening, ladies. How are you doing?
Good evening,
Good.
Mayor, Madam Mayor, councilors.
Sorry. Please continue.
Tonight, I am requesting, I have presented ordinance number 1715, an amendment to the official zoning map of the city of Las Vegas for property located and behind 300 South Grand Avenue, which is parcel 2.
Oh, excuse me. We need to go into public hearing.
That's okay?
Yeah, you started immediately going into the record proper. I didn't expect that. Go ahead. We need a motion to go into public hearing.
Madam Mayor, I move that we go into public hearing.
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Rivera Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell and Counselor Rivera Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Okay, we're in public hearing. We need swearing in.
Yes. Any of you who would like to speak on this issue, please stand, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I repeat your name for the record.
Renee Garcia.
Do you swear to tell the truth
Swear to tell the truth
during my testimony to council tonight?
during my testimony in council tonight.
Thank you very much. Public hearing.
Okay, now I can proceed.
Yes. You were just supposed to do the introduction.
I have to go again.
That's okay.
Okay, tonight I'm requesting approval or disapproval of ordinance number 1715, which is to amend the official zoning map of the city of Las Vegas for property located behind 300 South Grand Avenue, which is a 3-acre plus or minus parcel from a general commercial zone to a residential agricultural zone. Mr. Martinez, property owner, wants to, his property taxes are really, really high for commercial use, and he just wants to change it to that.
Okay. Ms. Garcia, do you have anything to add?
No, I do not.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, one of you's first, so take your pick.
Madam Mayor, Councilman Casey, gentlemen, I've been living in that area, 300 South End, 296, for 59 years. The house was built 60 years ago, 1 year before I got married. Anyway, it's been commercial ever since. And even my house is commercial property. So I guess I went to sleep for a long time. I sold the company, my company 20 years ago. And I woke up one day and I said, why am I paying taxes for the county when I don't have a business? I'm already retired. I normally say retired, but I'm retired. And I said, well, I'm going to find out why I am paying this kind of taxes when I don't have a business. I went to the county and then I came to somebody else. And that's the reason, you know, I am paying very much, a lot of money for living where I live, but it's a residential home. And I'm paying taxes on the property that I'm really not utilizing as a business. This is why I'm here tonight. And I hope you take that into consideration, because I don't have a business anymore. The last business that I had was with my son at the radio station, and I'm no longer the owner of it. And I went to the council to consider my application, because I am tired of paying the county quite a bit of money for the property that I live in and the property that I'm not using as business. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Pardon me?
I don't have any other questions. Does anybody have questions?
No questions.
Okay, next, Mr. Martinez Jr. We're good to go? Okay, good. Okay, so what is, do you have any other questions? You have no questions? We need a motion at this point in time to accept the record proper.
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept the record proper.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Lee Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Have a motion by Counselor Casey, second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor, motion carries.
Now I need a motion to close public hearing and reconvene into regular session.
Madam Mayor, I move that we close the that we close the public hearing and reconvene into regular session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Good. Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Lee Jr.?
Yes.
Have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero and Counselor Lee Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor, motion carries.
Good, thank you very much. Now I need a motion that is going to either accept, approve, or disapprove and adopt the actual proposed ordinance resolution or ordinance.
Madam
Counselor
Mayor,
Casey.
I move that we approve to adopt ordinance number 17-15, amending the official zoning map for said property.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Lee Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor, motion carries.
Thank you, ladies. Mr. Martinez, thank you
Thank
very
you, Mayor,
much.
and thank you, Council. Appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
Don't need one more. We have another one.
I have one more.
All right, number 6 on the business item, conduct a public hearing and approval or disapproval to adopt ordinance 17-16, amendment to the official zoning map for the property.
Okay, motion to
Madam
go into
Mayor,
public
I
hearing.
move that we go into public hearing.
Do you have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Lee Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
A motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Thank you, Madam Mayor, motion
We are
carries.
in public hearing. Who, we just swear in?
Those of you who would like to speak on the issue, please raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name for the record, Maria Pereira. Swear to tell the truth, during my testimony to council tonight. During my testimony to council tonight.
Thank you very much. Ladies.
Madam Mayor, Council, before you, we have ordinance number 1716 to amend the official zoning map for property located at 296 South Grand Avenue, which is the residence for Mr. Martinez and his wife. They want to rezone the property from this commercial zone to to an R1, single-family residential, for the purpose of lowering their taxes as is stated prior hearing.
Ms. Garcia, do you have anything to add?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Martinez, you're already up.
Well, it's the same thing. I've been living in a commercial zoning in a resident home. And this is why I want to change it, because as you well know, the commercial zoning is a lot higher than just residential. And that's why I'm moving on this. It's the same answer I gave you a few minutes ago, that because of being in commercial property, it's very, very expensive. And if you have any questions, I'll be here. But I can think of, go ahead and answer them. I'll ask them one way to answer them.
Okay, thank you very much. Questions, comments?
No questions.
Councilor
Quick one.
Casey.
I'm sorry. By looking at the maps that we were given, I couldn't tell if the properties are side by side or one behind the other.
So the house is in front, and the property in question is in the back.
Okay.
I'm only leaving one building that's commercial, which was my office, my own office.
Okay.
That will be commercial. The rest is all trying to change it.
I just wanted to get that clear picture in my mind, because I know where the house is, but I wasn't sure where the other property was in relation to the house.
It's behind the house.
Yeah, thank you.
Question?
Madam Mayor, Mr. Martinez, good evening. So this rezoning is for your residence?
Yes.
Right, and the one we did just
It
prior
was
was...
adjoining at one time. I separated it.
Okay,
It was all one piece. I separated the house, and I separated the office and the rest of the property.
right. And you're paying high taxes on this, the residence?
Quite a bit.
Same as the property?
Yes, quite a bit of taxes.
Right, okay. Thank you, that's my question.
No questions? I have a question. You stated that you have commercial property. Is that commercial property included in that plot which we're
It was
rezoning
all
here today?
commercial at one time.
Yes, but is that commercial property that you're still using included in the plot that you are asking us to rezone?
No.
I want him to answer. I'm asking, no. Is it not included?
If I can,
Matt,
Mayor,
yeah.
member of the council, his residence is on the
I know where the residence is,
Yeah.
but he mentioned that
There's
he
a
was,
commercial property next to it where the Martinez Oil and Gas building used to be before.
so is he asking for that to
No.
be included?
That
Okay,
is not included
that was
in
my
the entire-
question.
in the
That was my
process
question
tonight.
from the beginning, I want you
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's we're good to go. Okay, thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Can I elaborate
Yes.
on that? Well, what we did, what was approved is that they did a summary lot split or a subdivision,
Okay,
and they separated the commercial property from what he changed
The
to
residential
residential
agricultural?
agricultural. I'm in the process of getting signatures for all that now, to get
has
it
the lot
finalized.
split been approved though?
It has been approved
Okay.
through planning and zoning,
Lindsay?
and we're just getting signatures now and finalizing that. So the
Okay.
commercial property has been separated.
Okay, good, thank you very much. Now I need a motion to accept the record proper.
Madam Mayor, I move that we accept the record proper.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Counselor Ulibarri Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero. Counselor Howell, thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Now, motion to close public hearing and reconvene into regular session.
Madam Mayor, I move that we close the public hearing and that we reconvene, go back into regular session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell? Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Sorry. Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Ulibarri Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero and Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Now I need a motion to either approve or disapprove and adopt the proposed ordinance.
Madam Mayor,
Councilor Casey.
I move approval to adopt ordinance number 17-16, amending the official zoning map for said property.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Ulibarri Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Romero and Counselor Ulibarri Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much, ladies. Mr. Martinez, thank you very
Thank you
much.
very much.
Madam Mayor,
Ready.
Councilors, thank you very much.
Good job.
Madam
Good
Mayor,
job, ladies.
members of council, I know you guys are coughing up there because
Yeah.
whatever you have is starting to be contagious. Imagine one time when the council chambers were smaller, smoking was allowed in the council chambers.
Oh my gosh.
So that's the way it used to be back in the day. My dad was in here for 8 years, I was in here for 4. And by the time we moved forward, there was no smoking by the time I became mayor, which is a blessing. But imagine that the room was like that still. And I did want to make one point, and really I'm hoping, moving forward in regards to South Grand, Councilor Howell, you talked about it. The entire business community down there is in favor of the project. The only issue that they've had all along is access. And we're hoping that they continue to work with us at some point so that we can get proper access. At the end of the day, that's what that is. We just try to get as many entrances as possible. I was in Santa Fe yesterday, and there's literally one access next to another access all the way through Cerrillo. We don't want that many, but we do want to give opportunity for business to move forward. And as you've seen what happened with the rest of Grand Avenue, we don't want that to happen in South Grand. So please consider that when the DOT decides to move forward with the public hearing, include us, make sure that we're at the table because it will impact our businesses.
I believe they did include you.
No, we've talked to them and we're still waiting for the next process.
Oh, I
They're
know.
still changing.
Round 2, yes, absolutely.
Yes. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Don't forget your jacket.
Okay, number 7 on the business item agenda, approval or disapproval to award RFP 2018-10 for emergency services to the Superior Ambulance and enter into negotiations.
Mr. Montoya.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of council, Mr. Manager. We went out on RFP for emergency services. Superior Ambulance was the sole bidder on it. We've had Superior Ambulance conducting this type of emergency services since 2008. Right now, we're looking at going into awardment of the RFP 2018-10 and enter into negotiation.
Questions, comments? That's right.
I do too.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Chief, good evening.
Good evening.
The corner where the ambulance is currently housed.
Yes, sir.
Dalby and 7th. Right. Numerous amount of residents from Dalby are still, in the last 5 years that I've been here at this seat, complaining about ambulances shooting through Dalby Street and fire trucks shooting through Dalby Street. They are really concerned about, and this is without lights or without sirens, and that's a very, very major issue for the residents there. And they have a lot of children on the streets on Dalby, and they're very concerned about the case. When they throw a football and then the football goes onto the street and then here comes a vehicle. And that's not just the ambulance or the fire department, but the cars, regular cars that go through that street. And I believe it's a one-way.
Yes, sir, it is.
So is it a one-way going towards 8th Street or one-way going through?
One-way going towards 7th Street.
Towards 7th Street.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so there should be no fire or ambulances going into Dalby.
Towards
from
8th
that
Street? No, sir, there shouldn't be.
Right, but there still is, somehow. I don't know. I personally haven't seen it, but I've received calls from the residents.
And I can get with the regional manager on that. That they don't do that anymore if it is happening.
But Chief, we've done that in the last few years.
Have you?
And they still are doing it. I mean, even the regional manager came here one time, and we spoke to that person. I'm not sure his name.
Gabe Cerna?
And he says, okay, he will take care of it. He will talk to his staff.
And one of the things, Counselor, that might help alleviate that concern is we're going to establish an oversight committee for the ambulance that's going to meet on a quarterly basis. So any types of concerns like that will be brought to us. We're going to establish a committee, and they're going to be held to the fire on it. So now with this oversight committee, any violations, any concerns, they will be addressed.
I mean, I understand when they have an emergency.
Right.
You know, they have the sirens and they have the lights going on. But just like a normal, just to get to 8th Street. is
Yeah,
not-
that's not acceptable at all.
acceptable. And then the police department also with the cars that are zooming through that road. It's very important that we really look at them.
Most definitely, I agree.
Any other questions?
Last year's contract renewal for Superior Ambulance showed that we were paying them $75,000 a year.
That's 175,000.
175,000?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and this year it's going to be 200,000?
That is what they are proposing right now. We have done preliminary negotiations with Mr. Archuleta, and he has assured myself and the manager that the contract price will not change.
Okay. Just kind of wondering. So
Right.
you still have to negotiate that?
Well, that was one of the biggest concerns that we
Negotiate it
had
down.
when we saw that $200,000 mark.
Yeah.
And we needed to talk to Mr. Archuleta on that immediately to see if we can still bring it to the council. And he said that he was shooting a bit high on that, and he was very willing to work with us, that he would leave the number as is.
Okay. Another concern that I have is there have been some people who needed ambulance service and did not get any because the ambulance was on its way to Santa Fe or Albuquerque.
Right, on a
And-
transfer.
Yeah, and I mean, his opening letter says that in the past 3 years, over $900,000 in ambulance upgrades and new vehicles has been spent. $1 million in new cardiac monitors, $400,000 in miscellaneous equipment, $800,000 in computers, and so on. So, I mean, if they have bought new vehicles, then why do we not have ambulances that are available when they're needed here in Las Vegas for our citizens?
And that was one of our concerns as well. And I believe the reason for that is because currently we are sharing a contract with, or sharing ambulances, I should say. We have 2 separate contracts with the county and the city. However, we share the same 3 ambulances. In this RFP process that we just put out, we want 3 ambulances solely, strictly for the city of Las Vegas. So that way the 911 service won't be needed at all.
Great. And so when do you, what's the timeline for negotiating with Superior Ambulance so that we can get this going and know what it is that we're getting into?
Well, should you guys approve this tonight, then I will get with the manager, we'll discuss the awardment letter and enter into negotiations with Mr. Archuleta, draft up a contract, have the attorney review it, have his people review it, and we should have everything signed. I would say timeline, rough estimate would be mid-January.
Okay. So we'll bring it back to the council at that time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great.
I have a question, ma'am. Thank you. Have you talked to any other ambulance companies?
Right now, Superior Ambulance has the license to operate here in Las Vegas. They have the statewide. The only other ambulance that has that license would be Albuquerque Ambulance, and they didn't bid on the proposal at all. We advertised in the journal as well, just in case they may want to come explore over here, but we didn't get a bid on it.
And Superior Ambulance has been working with the city for quite a while, right?
Yes, sir, since 2008.
Thank you.
So they pretty much operate as a sole source provider in the area, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Romero.
When you renew contracts like that, why don't it get does it done before time? Not the date that it needs to go back.
Well, right now, sir, the delay for it was we were trying to do a collaboration with the county
That's why we could give some other constituents that do the business, he could bid on it for himself, whether they have a business license to do it here in Las Vegas, but they would have enough time to compete with them.
Yes, sir, I totally understand what
I
you're
think
saying.
it would be a good idea because we're having the same identical every year with the same company.
Yes, sir. And
I
hopefully
think
with this
it should be
oversight
done
committee, we
before time.
right.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Counselor Howell.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Mr. Trujillo. Chief, this is an approval to proceed into negotiations with.
Correct.
Is that correct?
To award the bid and proceed into negotiation.
So-
Madam Mayor,
Corina.
if I may, I'm just, because this, you're bringing this up now, and you also brought up whether a contract would come back before. And I think that there are some terms to that contract. I've already seen a preliminary draft. There are some terms to that contract that are continuing to be negotiated. For example, the oversight, maybe some penalties for breach of those standards. However, if the council were to approve of this, it could be the approval to enter into a contract rather than negotiations. I don't see any reason the contract amount has been stated for you, although the bid amount was $200,000. That portion has been negotiated to a $175,000 number.
Okay,
And
the
so-
key issue here, Corina, is that consistent with the action required this evening, and we have to be very clear on that, is that it's either approval or disapproval of negotiations, not to enter into a contract. So you cannot expect the council at this point in time to attempt to enter into a contract when it's very specific that the action required is negotiations. So I agree with the council that it needs to be brought back. They do operate as sole source provider, we understand that as well, but we still need to bring it back to the council. I would not recommend that we enter into an actual contract until the negotiations have been handled, and then you bring it back to us, and the council is fully apprised of what action you're going to be taking, Mr. Hunter. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilor Howell.
Well, during your negotiations, I'd like to recommend that there's a penalty clause in there for any ambulance that's going through Dalby without emergency or lights or whatever. Because I'm really worried about kids getting hurt there. So if you can do that, that would be great.
Yes, sir, we'll definitely take that into consideration and see how we can enter that.
Okay.
Make it a $25,000.
Big one, not a 2,500.
No.
Okay. Are you finished?
Yes.
Councilor.
Is there any way that they could relocate the area?
We can bring that up as well.
Negotiate that?
Sir?
That's a good
Thank
idea. Good question.
Thank you.
Penalties a little
Thank you.
steep, but good question. Any other questions? Okay. What is the pleasure of the board?
Madam Mayor,
Councilor Reese.
I move that we award the RFP number 2018-10 for emergency services to Superior Ambulance and enter into negotiations.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Olivetti Jr.?
Yes.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Olivetti Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mr.
Chief.
Lloyd. Good job.
Appreciate your hard work.
Councilor's report. Councilor Romero.
Okay, I have one complaint from the constituents on New Mexico Avenue, 421 New Mexico Avenue, that there's been a water leak for the past week, and they reported it, and nobody went back to that address.
What was the address again? I'm sorry.
421 New Mexico Avenue.
421 New Mexico. We'll check into that.
And today I went and I checked, and it is leaking between the curb and gutter and the highway. It's coming the water.
We'll check into it.
Thank you very much. Any other? You done? Councilor Casey.
Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the Public Works Department, Veronica Gentry, for the street repair that has been going on. I really appreciate getting the list of streets that are being repaired because people are always calling about, when are you going to fix my street? And this way I know what's happening. Also, I wanted to say that the Electric Light Parade was a really wonderful parade, and everyone that I talked to really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it myself. I didn't get to see all of it because I was volunteering at the parish hall serving nachos and all kinds of other stuff. But it was a very nice parade. I do have a question though. At the Plaza Park, there is a large float that was there. The float did not win any awards during the parade, and I'm wondering why the float is there, especially in light of the fact that it has a big banner that is advertising for a particular construction company. And my question is, does this mean that other businesses can get free advertisement at the park too? I don't think it's really appropriate to do that unless we're going to open it up to everybody in town. The other thing I have is the light across from the golf course on 4th Street is either very dim or it doesn't work, but it's very difficult to see the street if you're traveling west on Mills to turn onto 4th Street. You can't see where the street is. Another thing is that when I learned that the contract renewals for the 4 people that the mayor gets to appoint was not on the agenda, I contacted our city attorney and asked her if I could talk to her about it, and she advised me that it would be better to talk to our alternate attorney because it was a conflict of interest for her since her contract was on also up for renewal. For those of you who do not know, the city has a contracted alternate attorney. The attorney is paid $200 an hour to provide services to the city whenever there's a conflict of interest or some other issue that our regular attorney cannot deal with. I called this attorney and left a message to get a call back. I did get a call back, but it was not the attorney, it was the attorney's sister. And she stated to me that the attorney would not talk to me because she had been ordered by the mayor not to talk to me under any circumstances. And so this brings to light the question, are we paying, using taxpayer dollars to pay for a private attorney for our mayor? If that's the case, and that alternate attorney is only going to be doing work for the mayor, then I think that that is unethical and wrong. And my last item, sort of, the city manager mentioned transparency. And the city has done a lot of good things, I agree. But there is a real lack of communication. And we have heard rumors for over a month that the city manager was leaving, but no one ever bothered to inform this council. We found out tonight, just like you did. And so the contracts for the positions of city manager, city police chief, city attorney, and city clerk were to be reviewed and either approved or disapproved for renewal now in December. It's my understanding that the mayor refused to put the contract renewal on the agenda for this month's meeting. It's my further understanding that the city manager has officially retired, and that we found that out tonight, and that position is now open. Being that the mayor had not informed the council about the city manager's retirement and his intentions to leave the city's employment, one can only surmise that the mayor is keeping important information from the council members. Perhaps the mayor is intending to appoint an interim city manager, and I've heard that she has already done that without our approval or even letting us know. However, the mayor may also need to be reminded that if she does this without the approval of the city council, She is violating the provisions of the city charter, which states in Article 5, Section 5.01D, quote, "The mayor shall appoint, subject to council approval, an acting city manager for any absence exceeding 30 days." End of quote. Since we are not taking any action on this position tonight, can we surmise that the mayor has already appointed someone to this position as an interim city manager without the consent of the city council? If this is so, then the mayor is blatantly violating the provisions set forth in the city charter. I do not know the reason the mayor has refused to do what is the normal course of action to keep the city functioning properly. Without the renewal of the contracts of the chief of police, the city attorney, the city clerk, the mayor is placing the city in legal jeopardy. As many of you know, these positions are vital to the day-to-day functioning, efficient functioning of the city of Las Vegas. Without these key people in their positions, what is to happen to the city? Who will take over leadership in the police department? What will happen when the legal issues that our city attorney has been dealing with in an expeditious and efficient manner, what's going to happen to those? Who will get all the necessary pre-election and election work done for the March municipal election? And who will do all the work afterwards, reporting to the county clerk and the Secretary of State? Does the mayor think that just anyone can take these vital positions simply because of her whims or her desire to be in total control? Mayor Tonita Gurule Giron has blatantly violated the city charter, exposed the city to lawsuits, exhibited unprofessional behavior, and has created a hostile work environment. If Mayor Tonita Gurule Giron does not take corrective action to carry out the duties of the mayor as a functional member of this governing body, of this city council, I ask that Mayor Tonita Gurule Giron resign from office. And now I would like to make a motion to censure the mayor for her lack of professional ethics by circumventing the process of appointing an interim city manager, reappointing the police chief, city clerk, and city attorney. And for those of you who may not know what censure means, it is a formal public group condemnation of an individual whose actions run counter to the group's acceptable standards for individual behavior. And if I need to state that motion again, I do have a motion on the floor, Madam Mayor.
Second.
Roll call.
Counselor Romero?
Yes.
Counselor Casey?
Yes.
Counselor Howell?
Yes.
Counselor Olivetti Jr.?
No.
I have a motion by Counselor Casey, a second by Counselor Howell. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Now, I need to respond. First of all, you have accused me of many things here, Counselor Casey, and that is quite unfortunate. Because I know personally, and I have memorandums, where you and our city attorney have been working together in cahoots to get her contract.
That is not true.
I have it in writing, okay? Second of all, our city attorney, who I feel sent a memo to our other attorney, okay? Pretty much attacking me and attacking the city attorney. Our city attorney has no duty or responsibility to conduct herself in such a unprofessional manner. We have that in writing. Second of all, with regards to the contracts, we have 2 impending retirements, one retirement which we are currently waiting for in order to allow this individual to enter into a contract. Corina could have advised you of that before you attacked me here publicly. So therefore, that tells me that Corina, again, failed to do her job. She should have notified you. She has been involved in the entire process of that impending retirement and negotiation. She could have told you, Councilor Casey. You had access to her. Let me continue. You've already done. Third of all, Mr. Trujillo asked me not to mention anything because he wanted to address the council publicly. And as I've stated, I went ahead and out of respect for Mr. Trujillo, informed him of that. We are going to be looking at 2 positions that were vacant. Nowhere did I ever state that we were not going to approve contracts. What I didn't like is the fact that Corina was going back to you and complaining to you about the contracts. And I know she was, because she told me that. So, at this point in time, and the statement that she sent to Danielle Smith was so unprofessional. Now, that is a personal matter. We're going to discuss that today in executive. So no one has circumvented any policy or any charter. We were waiting for the impending retirement of Mr. Trujillo and the negotiation and impending retirement of the police chief, which we just received, I believe, a settlement offer yesterday, based on my knowledge, which I got a message from Corina. So no one has violated anything, Councilor Casey. And for the council here to censor me today is absolutely ridiculous. You should be ashamed of yourselves doing this to me. You especially, Councilor Romero. I have stood by you, regardless. You. I'm going to direct this directly to you, because I have been there for you, through thick and thin. But for you to censor me today is a disgrace. You should be embarrassed.
And we've been behind you and you stabbed us in the back.
I have never stabbed you in the back. But you'll see those messages from who has stabbed you in the back, and that's Councilor Casey, if you want to bring that forward.
It's time to be thrown out.
Yes, but the fact that they've accused me of all these things publicly, I must defend myself. You're out of order. I don't have a choice but to defend myself. I've been left no choice. And with regards to the charter, that's another issue that was raised. That charter issue is again under our city attorney. And if that's not moving forward, then we know exactly what's going on. And at this point in time, I'm asking that we go into executive session, so we need to discuss the matters at hand that were raised here today. So I need a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion to go into executive session.
Do I have a second?
To discuss personnel matters as permitted by section 10-15-1 HB H2 of the New Mexico Open Meetings Act, NMSA 1978.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilor Casey?
Yes.
Councilor Romero?
Yes.
Councilor Howell?
Yes.
Councilor Livetti Jr.?
Yes.
I have a motion by Councilor Howell, a second by Councilor Livetti Jr. Thank you, Madam Mayor. Motion carries.
Thank you. Let's go into executive. Thank you.